Marmaduke 9. You sit in the station between the Corps Command officers, Alvora and Kyver. It feels almost like there's something different about you, but the same. It's an odd feeling. You check your body, and as you check it, you notice that your enhancement slots have been filled.
Well, that's odd. I could have sworn I didn't do that.
Yet, you remember doing it inside the simulation. It's almost as if the simulation transferred over what you did to the present.
Alvora?
She looks over towards you. Huh? And she walks over towards you. What's wrong?
I just want to make sure I'm not still dreaming.
You're not. You're fine.
Before everything, I don't think I could do this. And I activate superior flight and just kind of float in front of her a little bit.
You activate it, and then you begin to just levitate off the ground, and she just looks at you, and she takes a step back. As she takes a step back, she's just like, what is that?
It's superior flight, and believe me, it was never named more appropriately than in my capable hands. I do a little twirl in the air.
You do a little twirl, and she's like, maybe you should rest.
Maybe you should come up here with me. And I float down, pick her up, and then carry her up.
You carry her up. She's like, and then you see Kyver come over. He's like, Marmaduke, can I have a word with you?
Oh, I suppose.
And
I'll put you down, dear. One moment. I float down. Deactivate superior flight.
All right.
And you want me to follow you?
Alvora, if you would like, can you check in on the commander? Yes, I can. And you see her pat Kyver's shoulder and nod to him, and then walk off as the helmet gets placed back onto her head.
You know I'll tell her anyway.
I don't doubt it. I understand what it feels like to have a love. And not wanting to hold things back from them.
Absolutely not. So, I've held enough back from her. Apparently. So, what's going on?
We are trying to...
Why can I fly? That's interesting.
We are trying to find... Hagar out in space. We have a few Corps Command squadrons that came here to help rescue you. Thanks to your squadron, Squadron 19. They sent myself as well as Alvora. Well, they didn't really send Alvora. Alvora came on her own, but they sent me to help out Alvora because they knew that she was going to go it alone. And then they also informed the Admiral and General of this situation, and they sent a battalion to come and rescue you. It's a good thing, too, because we actually did need that.
Impressive. Yes. This station. What do you make of it?
He turns around and he begins to look around. It is flowing with conduit. I can tell you that. And he looks over towards you. He's like, go ahead and roll me a lore check.
Lore is 18.
18. You hear this thing about the conduit. You're not entirely... You don't entirely remember what this is, but it sounds familiar to you. It sounds like some kind of energy.
Yes, there are a lot of conduits on the station. There's lots of conduits all over the place. It's how they do the energy, how they do the power.
He looks over towards you. He's like,
conduits.
yes, that is correct. But there is one conduit that surges through it all.
Oh. You don't mean like the main power. You mean something else.
It's an energy field.
That acts as a conduit of some kind?
Yes, for many who are able to wield it. I can somewhat wield it as an arc forger myself, but it's not within my full capabilities.
I see. Have you managed to ascertain the purpose of the station? Have you managed to download any station logs?
I personally did not come here to download any information on this station. I came here to rescue you and make sure that Alvora was safe.
You might want to, though. You might want to examine pretty closely everything this station was doing.
I see. And he kind of crosses his arms and gets in a position to look at you and examine you.
What race is he?
He is Prime.
Okay.
He has this...
so he...
Yeah, he is Prime. He doesn't seem like he has enhancements to the wazoo, but he has enhancements, maybe because he experienced some kind of situation where he had to get enhancements. But he
okay.
he was not born like getting enhancements and all that stuff like you.
Are you a loyal man of the Corps?
You could say that. There's something different about you, huh?
The enhancements, for one thing. Knowledge for another.
I figured that they installed those into you. Did they not calibrate them into you?
I wouldn't know. I was in a simulation. However, in the simulation, I did calibrate and install these exact enhancements that I have.
I see.
Whoever built that simulation, whoever ran it, they, I think, knew me. And beyond that, that station out there is very familiar to me. I was stationed here once.
He looks around, and then he says, "All right, follow me." And you see he begins to walk down over towards the lift.
Mm-hmm. And I'll join him.
You begin to follow suit. And as he's walking, you see him go to his wrist, and he presses a button. Avora, keep your wits about you. And then you hear a come back. Why? What's wrong? Just watch and listen and focus on what the officers are doing. All right? And then you hear her respond back. All right. And you see he continues to walk. The lift door opens up, and you guys walk inside it. And then he says, "Where should we go?"
What do you mean, where shall we go?
I'm sure you have a better understanding of where everything is inside the station, do you not?
Oh, are we in the station still?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I mean, I might. Things may have changed in the last 1,000 years, or however long it's been. I'm very old, you know.
Huh. So?
I wouldn't want to.
You know what? If you can't make a decision, I'll make it for you.
I think we might need more. We might need more firepower. Is all I'm saying.
He presses onto a button.
By might, I mean will definitely.
He presses onto a button, and it looks like your level, the level that you were held.
Okay.
And the lift.
Oh, in the lab or in my prison?
You're going to the lab. It's the door slides open, and as the door slides open, you see about 3 command operatives inside here working on a computer system that is connected directly to the monitors and information board that you were plugged into. And Kyra's like, "What do we have here?" And the operatives all spin around. It's like, This is core command information that we are trying to gather. If you can just please be on your way."
And who might you be exactly?
And they look at each other, and Kyver puts his hand up to you, and he just kind of like looks at you and gives you a look of stand back. And then he says, "This is core command information, but I was also placed on this mission by Squad 119. This is specifically for rescuing Marmaduke 9. Are you going to share the information that you find inside those logs? And you see the operatives look at each other. And then, with a sudden twist, they all pull out their guns. And as they pull out their guns, you see Kyver lift up his hand, and then a huge bolt of electricity shoots out directly through the operatives, and they all become paralyzed. And you see them all fall to the ground. And he's like, I was hoping this wasn't going to happen. Marmaduke, we are...
You give me a gun. Give me a gun right now.
You can go and grab one of theirs.
Arrow. Preferably a bow and arrow.
Go and grab one of their weapons. And you see Kyver go up to them.
What are they armed with?
You see that they are armed with what seem to be tech revolvers.
I'm gonna take all of them.
Oh, also
all of their weapons.
Also,
and all of their ammo.
The tech revolvers are not set to stun.
Kyver.
Yes.
Why are your men trying to kill us?
They're not my men. They're Corps Command.
Why are Corps Command men trying to kill us?
Because they have classified information here, apparently, and we need to figure out exactly why you are being held here. Do you know why you are being held here? What did Hagar want with you?
I don't know what he wanted with me. What actually, to be, if it was told to me, I can't remember what he wanted with me. He just put me in the simulation, didn't he?
Remember, he wanted to make you whole, so that he could trade you.
He wanted to make me whole. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I was nothing more than a bargaining tool for him to be traded for with someone for some reason. That's the only reason I have my enhancements.
All right. Well, we're gonna need to figure this stuff out, and if Corps Command is definitely compromised. I know that.
These three on the floor, are they prime as well?
When you check that they had helmets on, when you go to take off their helmet, one of them is prime, another one is yen, and the other one is also yen. So there's 2 yen and 1 prime.
However, I don't like one bit that Alvora is now off on her own.
From what I noticed, she can handle herself.
I don't care if she can handle herself or not. How many Corps officers are on this station right now?
Currently, not that many. Because they're all after Hagar.
But why are they after him, aside from his obvious crimes? Are they going to let him go? Are they going to bring him into the fold?
Not sure.
And what the hell are this lot doing? You're a prime. Like me. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
Probably not as old as you. 1,000 years.
More than that.
I am not that old. I'm about probably 35 cycles old.
Good grief.
Sometimes I forget, though. There was a time in which I was in the planar unity, so I'm not entirely sure how time felt.
Fascinating.
And you see he goes over and begins to squat down to check the information that they had, and you see him pull out his actual what looks like an ESB, the excess space box, and then he goes to it and he says tech, and as he says tech, you see coming out of it is a what looks like a rune, that same rune that he used to close up the viewer inside the bridge. And he takes it and then he places it where they were working. And I need to roll something.
Do you think they have monitoring devices in here? More than likely. I'd like to look around for monitoring devices.
Okay, I would like you to roll me a perception check.
Oh, 26.
26. You look around for any monitoring devices. As you are looking around, you notice that there is a slit in the wall that almost it has a texture to it that is different than the wall itself. And the slit is about the size of your hand if you place your palm onto it.
Okay. I'd like to move closer and have a closer look at it. And I want to see if it can be removed or disconnected, if it is a monitoring device.
Okay, what are you going to do exactly?
Approach it, examine it, and then either disconnect it with some finesse or rip it off the wall.
Okay, as you go and begin to examine it and check it out, you press onto it and then you see it actually presses in and then it slides out. And as it slides out, you see a codex there.
Oh, interesting.
And the codex looks like one of the codexes. Well, a codex that you. Well, one of the codexes that looks identical to the ones inside the simulation that you were in.
Ivor, come here.
He looks back, and as he looks back, he's like, "You were a part of an army?"
An army? Certainly. I was a combat pilot. One of the best. The best, if you were to ask me, but some poor fool would disagree, I imagine. Yes, I was in an army. And that army may well be on the move. I take out the codex.
You take out the codex. And he looks back, he's like, "What is that?"
This is how I communicated with my captor. Benevolent as they may have seemed at times.
And he stands up and he walks over to you and then says, "I'd put that down if I were you."
Oh, really? Why is that? Not part of the plan?
The plan?
Good answer. Why would you want me to put it down? Dangerous?
We don't know what... He looks down. We need to get you back to Squad 119. Immediately. I fear for the safety. And you see he begins to walk over towards the lift.
Where are they?
Currently, I think they're either making their way to Thet right now, or they're there now. And Thet is a command colony that is run by Redcon.
And why would their lives be in danger there?
The Redcon are all part of Core Command.
There's something about this. On one of the floors, they had people. Which floor was it? Floor 62. They had people being held prisoner. They may have been brainwashed. These 3 here may have been brainwashed. It's been a long time since I was with that army, but they showed no intention of stopping.
Kyver. Avora, what is it? I believe that they found Hagar. Ali said that it sounds like the commander is talking to the officers about how they're going to restrain him.
Let's go right now.
And Kyver nods, and you guys go into the lift. Door slides open, and he, as you guys turn around, he looks over towards the bodies that are paralyzed on the ground, and he's like, and he goes back over to them, and you see, as he rushes over to them, you see him grab a few things from their bodies, and he looks at them and he says, I know you're probably just following orders, but you really should reconsider your actions. And you see he turns around and begins to rush back in, and the door to the lift slides closed, and then
that codex is coming with me, by the way.
That codex is coming with you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. As the lift slides back open, you see the hallway leading down to where Alvora had gone, and Kyver begins to sprint in that direction as you follow suit, I am assuming?
Yeah, I'll follow suit.
You follow him, and then you get over as you see Kyver slowing down, and you see Alvora kind of standing there as the command squadron is there, and they look over towards Kyver and then you, and you see he nods to them. The commander nods to them and then walks over towards Kyver. He's like, so what is going on, Commander?
I don't know, you tell me. Have you seen my operatives?
Your operatives are still down there getting the information from the logs that, well, he was installed into. I asked them about it, and they seem to not be very forthcoming. So, what is going on, Commander? And he looks at you, Marmaduke, and says,
Marmaduke 9.
Commander, I appreciate the rescue.
Of course. I didn't expect that a plasmatic knight would be accompanying us on this mission, though.
I'm told they're full of surprises.
We have a pod ready for you to be accompanied to Thet to meet your squadron. Be reunited. We will be
This will-
handling Hagar from here.
Have you found him?
We have. He is on
Yes.
a nearby satellite.
So you haven't shot him. You just know where he is.
We are properly equipped to handle him. So, we do not
Probably.
require your assistance any longer.
I bet. Well,
Kyver
I'm happy that you're so confident, Commander. You seem to have dealt with whatever was on this mission with alacrity. I'm sure you can handle one errant cheater like that bugger, Hagar.
Kyver pipes up, and he looks at the commander. He's like, "No need for the pod. I can take Marmaduke here back to his squadron." He's like,
Uh-huh. Right. I'm not sure if that is exactly what the orders were. So, Knight, if you could, this is Foundation directives, not within your jurisdiction. I hope you understand that.
Kyver looks over towards you and smiles, and then looks back at the commander and it says, "I thought that the Ren Empire was a part of the Foundation. Are we not?"
Alliance, I should say. You know.
And you see Kyver opens up his robes, and you see on his underneath his robes is a runic strap that is attached to his shoulder, and multiple runes on it. Aren't the rune forgers a part of the alliance? And he looks. The commander looks at Kyver carefully. It's like,
You're a rune forger?
I work closely with them. I was apprenticed by them. I believe that makes me a rune forger. And that also means that I can call upon them if there's any issues between our order and your military. You can sense the tension is rising in here. And Alvora is kind of off to the side, and she is watching this play out. But you also notice that she has been inching behind them, behind their squadron, very slowly and carefully. What are you doing?
I am counting their numbers
All right.
and
In this,
noting the positions of my many tech volvers that I just took from those guys downstairs.
in this squadron, it looks like there are 7 of them, including the commander.
Hmm.
And he says, the commander says,
Please, Knight. I don't want to push any further. Let us escort Marmaduke 9 to the Thet system. Handle Hagar, and you can go back to your tower and take your woman with you.
and he motions towards Alvora.
She's not his woman, Commander.
He looks over towards you, confused.
In fact, she and I have some catching up to do. And I fear we'll have a fair bit more privacy with our knight friend here than I would on your pod with your capable squad. And as the person being rescued, surely I have some choice in the matter of how I am borne back to my colleagues.
You see the commander look down, and then he looks up.
Very well. If that is the case, you may go.
And he motions.
Thank you, Commander.
He motions over towards Alvora. And Alvora looks over. And what do you do?
If Alvora and Kyva are moving,
Kyver is not moving.
I'll move.
Alvora is not moving.
Then I will gesture to both of them.
Okay.
I think it may be time for us to take our leave.
Kyver doesn't look at you. He just keeps an eye on the commander and his squadron. Alvora looks at you, and she is kind of hesitant at this moment. You can't really see her full facial expression, but you can see her eyes kind of like within her visor. And roll me a perception check.
I should have this ready, really. 17 is a 20.
Her eyes seem like they are uncertain. From what you can see. What do you do, Marmaduke?
If the decision is made, gentlemen, why aren't we moving anywhere?
That is up to you, is it not? Come now, knight. I said you may go. I hate it when I have to take the first step. I really do. But it seems you're giving me no option.
As you see, Kyver looks up he suddenly, out of his hands, he rushes him down to his sides, and out of his robes, 2 runes float to his hands, and one of them seems to be some kind of, it looks like metallic, as it begins to go across his entire body. And as it goes across his entire body, you see the other rune ignites into what looks like a spear, an electric spear. And as that happens, he twirls it, and you see all the officers get ready, and this is like going in slow motion at this point.
As soon as he does that, I've got a tech volver in each hand, and they come in.
You pull out your tech volvers as you see Alvora looks over, and she seems to pull out what looks like some kind of actually it looks like she pulls out 2 photon knives, and she goes and dual wields them. And as this happens, you see all of it is everyone getting prepared for combat in this moment. And then we're gonna end the session there.
All right.
Since you only got a few, like 15 more minutes or so, figured we'll end it short and sweet, and prepare next session for combat and whether or not you're gonna escape. Yeah. Yeah. So that was the eighth session. For everyone's knowledge, for everyone's understanding, that this was recorded audio-wise because there was technical difficulties going on with Zoom for some reason, where it just kept disconnecting us over and over again every 15 seconds. So, yeah.
Indeed, it was weird.
It was weird. Hopefully, we'll try it again next time. But if it doesn't work, then we'll probably stick to audio. Yeah, that was good.
All right.
That was good. Thank you all for listening to Fragments Reborn, entry 8. And I believe one more session, okay? The ninth one.
More.
The 9th one.
Yes.
Well, if death comes to you, may you be reborn in power.